Just when I thought I couldn't find my way out, yeah, I searched the God in me to find my way out. I know it can seem way out, but the Creator flows to and through me from way out. I'm talking way out, yeah, yeah, yeah. See, if you believe in the God in you, it's a better place. Creating the force and the power to live a better life. Know that love and joy and peace is one in all of the same space. That you were chosen just like God. Your energy. That's right. Only you can make the change. Share your energy. Shine so bright from darkness to light. Hey, hey, hey. From darkness to light. Yeah. And you'll find your way out. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it won't seem way out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The power of God will flow through you from way out.
Ai, ai, ai. I just killed the mosquito. Hold on one second.
You there, Robbie?
Mosquito.
Robbie?
They're in the middle of war or whatever.
Are you there?
Yeah, he's there, but I think he's got something going on.
Yeah, yeah. What's going on inside your mind is a wonderful party. What you
All right, guys. So he is in Israel currently. So there's some things going on. So just give us a second before we get to start this whole thing, because there might be some moments where he might have to jump up because of they're in the middle of a war. So
Are we live?
we are live. We are live. So yeah. Hey. Hey there. Hey there. Hey. Is everything okay, sir?
Oh yeah, I don't. There's a mosquito. So I had clapped it and then I got a mosquito. I have to wash my hands.
Oh, okay. So, all right, I thought it was something crazy going on because it sounded wild with the earphones. But yes, welcome to the show, Alchemizing Energy. I'm going to let you and Mighty Hebrew begin the discussion. Much love, guys.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Hey, shalom, Robbie.
Hey, shalom. The Prince, the Mighty Hebrew.
Okay, I just want to make sure everything is, yes, because over in Tanzania, I'm just making sure everything. Okay, I see what's going on. Let me get this set up. Can you hold on? Give me a second.
Okay, while you guys are let me just kind of get things started. So who is Harry Rozenberg? So while we get this whole thing going.
I'm just a regular Jewish guy.
Just a regular Jewish guy?
Regular Jewish guy. Born and raised. Yeah, what are you going to say?
What is the office of the exarchy? What is that?
Oh, man, it's the greatest question in the entire universe. The exarchy is one of my most favorite English words that never gets discussed. The exarch is a position that was put into reality in the house of David. So when there was a King David, you had a King Solomon, etc., they always had a representation from the house of King David to the universe, to the world. Like you want to talk to Israel,
Okay.
you go through the exilarchy. Uh, so, sorry, there's a little mosquito here. I'm outside in Jerusalem. What are you can do? But so yeah, we have this position that there's an ambassador to say, hey, you want to talk to the Jews? You want to know what's going on? There's an exilarch. There's a guy in Hebrew it's called the Rosh Galuta, the head of the exile. And it was the person who keeps everyone in check, throughout the exile. So I'm not the exilarchy today because that stopped around 1,000 years ago. It's like 1,000 years ago in Babylon or so. Well, got no mosquitoes out here. Sorry, guys. About 1,000 years ago in Babylon, they had a position where there was a man, direct male descendant from King David, who was the liaison between the whole world and the Jewish community. There's a Wikipedia page for this also. People should for sure study it.
You hear me? You hear
Okay,
me,
so
Robbie?
so Mighty Hebrew, you want to continue the interview from here, or are you still having technical difficulties?
Yes, I'm almost finished, but can you hear me though? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. We just
We hear
can't. We
you
just
loud
don't
and
see
clear.
half of your
You know,
face. That's the only thing.
Okay, hold on, because I just put a new system up in here. Hold on.
Okay, so in the
Man,
meantime,
I'm coming.
could you discuss iTribe and what is iTribe and what are you trying to accomplish with iTribe? I saw the website. It says that you're reuniting the lost tribes of Israel. What is the
I'd be
thing
happy to
behind it?
discuss it, and especially happy to discuss while my brother, under pressure, tries to figure out his situation. I will take my time and speak slowly so he can do what he's got to do what he's got to do. But
Okay.
the I tribe is a concept of reality that the ancient house of Israel was once 12 tribes. And today, what you see a Jew or a Jewish person is a remnant or a slither, a little micro fraction of the ancient house of Israel. So in the diaspora, there's different categories and different prophecies of where the house of Israel gets sent to. Different tribes, different areas, etc. Jewish people, where the word Jew comes from the word Judah, Judea, Yehuda is the Hebrew word. They're the descendants of like the Second Temple Judeans, maybe 20, 30,000 people. I don't quote me offhand. Not that many returned from Babylon. So the Jewish people today are a remnant of the people who kept the Torah alive and preserved throughout time. But it does not imply that they are the exclusive descendants of the house of Jacob.
So they have a lot of people that you have now this movement that is coming with the Hebrew Israelites that are coming from America, from Africa, various different places. What is this? Is this movement meant to try to reunite with those people that are?
Right. So then, in my rabbinical journeys, I've uncovered it's part of the secrets of the Torah and the future of humanity. It's really crucial that before, and not crucial, it's a prerequisite according to Kabbalah and the rabbis, that before the redemption happens, the 10 tribes and the tribe of Judah unite and lock arms. The Jewish people and the lost tribes become one. And I'm looking around myself today and I see there's a lot of evil in the world. There's a lot of scary stuff. And there's power by numbers, and we need to unite to have the good people fight the evil in the world. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. We got all these brothers and sisters out here who are our family, but we got some religion separating us. So let's figure out how we can come together. That was
So is this mainly like a movement for mainly the lost tribes of Israel, like from a Judaism or a Hebrew, like a Torah based, or is this Christians as
No,
well, or is it
this
mainly?
is Jewish. This is from the Talmud, from the Mishnah. This is thousands of years ago, written from even 2,700 years ago when the exile happened. It was written down that they will one day reunite the the house of Israel and the house of Judah will one day reunite in the future, guaranteed, no questions asked. So it's a prerequisite for world peace. People trying to get to world
For
peace.
in
I'm
order
like,
for us to have world peace, that we have to unite.
not only that, I'm going to quote the Vilna Gaon, which is my great, 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 great ancestor rabbi. Um, First of all, I just want to apologize. I was very under the weather this week. I'm speaking very low, and this is not my normal uh, way of speaking, but I'm not feeling too well right now. But I'm here because we have to suffer for a greater good. So otherwise, I would have postponed. So I'm going to drink a little water also for my throat. It's a little painful. So the Vilna Gaon, my great, 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 great ancestor, a famous rabbi, like one of the most famous rabbis of the last 1,000 year period of time. He was a very, very big genius. So much so that in Lithuania today, the banks make like coins with his name and face on it for his genius. He invented mathematical theories and stuff. He was actually even known to do metaphysical things like creating a golem, like creating a Frankenstein out of earth, magic powers.
Mm.
Um, but this rabbi said that, and you want to find the source? You ask me, I'll send you the source. He says, before the redemption comes to the Jewish people, before the Mashiach comes to the Jewish people, it comes first to the 10 tribes, to the Aseret HaShvatim in Hebrew. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my, this is elephant in the room, because all my Jewish brothers and sisters over here are waiting for the Mashiach, and we're davening for the Mashiach. I'm like, guys, there's no Mashiach without the other tribes. That's a prerequisite. And then I spent a lot of years studying the scriptures and the sources to figure it out and to understand what's really going on over here. So that's why, even the students of the Vilna Gaon, my great, great, great rabbi ancestor, they used to write letters. You could even search it now on the internet, on Sefaria, to the lost tribes of Israel, trying to find them. We need you. We're being attacked by some crazy European guys in Europe. These white guys in Europe are coming doing crazy stuff to us. We need you to come help because you're military power, perhaps. It was like thousands of years of two brothers just separated over a long, big planet. So the I Tribe is a project where we're like, hey, forget about religion, forget about conversion, forget about the right of return, forget about who's Jewish, who's not Jewish. Let's all just be on the same page because we got a bigger enemy than each other. Like, we're not each other's enemy. There's some serious enemy situations going on today, and that's why we have to lock arms and bring world peace. Hopefully, God help us.
So the idea behind iTribe is not just bringing together people that share in the belief in the Torah or in Judaism, Christianity, or the Bible, but just to bring the lost tribes to find those people that have the bloodline. Is that what exactly it is?
If the guy is Christian or Muslim, whatever, he could be confused. He may not have the proper awareness of what's really going on in reality. But that's still my cousin. So, I'm not gonna. He's not gonna get friend zoned because you're my cousin. It's like you coming in. Like, let's embrace and act like family, and then we can discuss theological things like, yeah, this point in theology we could fight on and argue. That's fun and games, but we're not acting like a family. If we are a family, that's crazy.
So, do you feel like there's a disconnect between the Hebrew Israelite and the actual Jewish culture? That there's like a
Well, there's a
disconnect, and
big
do you think?
misunderstanding because thousands of years later, the people are coming back and different storylines, different customs and traditions. They don't see each other. They don't look the same. We're scared and there's trauma. I mean, there's a huge disconnect between these two communities that are both saying, "Hey, we're the house of Israel." So I'm like, okay, let's figure out how we could not have that, and what can we do to link up?
to work together, right?
Yeah.
So brother mighty Hebrew, what I've asked him just recently, is there a disconnect between, you'd say, the Jews practicing Judaism and the Hebrew Israelites that are currently, claiming that
Well,
they're the bloodline, and that the Jews have a certain claim to be the bloodline, and he says, definitely, and he wishes through this I tribe, and this is the website, guys. I keep flashing it to you guys. This is the site that he is putting out, and it's a looks like it's a community where he's trying to put together Mr. Rabbi Rosenberg to join together all the people, all the tribes of Israel around the world. So Mighty Hebrew is actually helping him with that, and so I'm gonna this is the end of my time, and let Mighty Hebrew kind of take over.
okay, appreciate
Do you hear me good, Rabbi?
it. Let's go. Nice to see you out there on the front lines making moves.
Do you hear me good?
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, because I got this new internet system up, but I'm trying to get it connected to the computer. But if you can hear me good for now while it's booting up, because I'm gonna switch it over. What was she saying? Basically, you was expressing the connection of Israelites and Jews coming together, and how you're using I tribe as a premise, which I think is a very good idea. I just want to make sure you can hear me well, correct?
Yeah, well, that's the whole purpose of the I tribe, is that we should be able to hear you well. Because imagine that you're a village in Africa and that you got a community out there, or you're even in Chicago. I don't care where you are, and you're slacking because you don't have the right internet speed, right? We got to hook it up. Us Jewish people in Israel, we're living in abundance. A lot of Jew gold flying around, a lot of wealth, a lot of success. And I'm like, hey, let's share some of this with our brothers and sisters. So that's why we want to get each village in Africa, especially where you are, on the map. Where are you on the map? Can we get a digital wallet on this village? And now we could channel philanthropy and aid from Israel to these regions. That means you could be having Starlink satellites, best Wi-Fi, making photovoltaic convertible energy, aquaponic farming, 3D printing, boom, bang. You're living in the first world luxury, and it was just like, what did you have to do? You just have to wake up and join the family. So instead of people seeing Israel as the enemy, they got to be like, let's let Israel do their thing, and and the byproduct of Israel doing its thing will be that the world benefits from Israel's wealth and greatness.
Absolutely, absolutely. Once the boot up, because you're going to hear the static because I'm on the phone and I'm shooting it over to my laptop. So, but the internet, thanks to iChop, is running real fast over here, the internet. Before, the help from iChop, it was running slow. So I know it's running fast. It's just this phone. So I'm going to shift it over here. But I want to ask you a question prophetically, because right now what's going on over in Israel, we see the Iran, the Israeli United States war. Where do you see this playing out prophetically and historically as it pertains to the Jewish community and the Israelite community? And also, will this also shed light to what we know as the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom coming together, as you see in the book of Ezekiel, the 31st chapter?
Right, great question. I mean, first and foremost, it's crazy to me that the people don't realize that, we know that there was a state of Israel did a report on the diaspora in 2017, and they reported the Igbo tribe of Nigeria, big Israelite community population over there, and that a large percentage of that community made up the transatlantic slave trade. was even crazier. So I'm like, wow, a lot of these slaves that came to America were coming from the one tribe. Well, they got synagogues now in Nigeria. They got like 60 or 70 synagogues with Torahs, and they're putting their tefillin, their phylacteries. These guys are Jewish people keeping the laws of Moses. I'm like, that's incredible. And no one realized that. So that was, for me, the first elephant in the room. But the biggest elephant in the room was like, you know who sold these guys? A lot of people blaming the Jews. Jews people maybe had a few bucks, a few private families, owning a few ships here and there. Nah, slave trade was not a Jewish move. Slave trade was a Muslim. It was a Quranic move. It means if you don't convert to Islam and submit, you become a slave. So a lot of people were like, "Yo, I don't want to die. I'll be an Islam." But what type of people did not take upon themselves Islam? Were the people who were ready to die for God, were the Israelites. Those were the people who were chosen as slaves, people who were not willing to submit to Islam. Those were the people who were taken to America on the ships as slaves. Maybe there was some Jewish money in the ships, yes or no, I don't know. But there's 100% certainty the guys rounding up and capturing Israelites in Nigeria were Islamic caliphate empire spreaders. And I'm like, okay, that's just information I need to know. And so when you're talking to me about the war today with Iran and Israel, I'm like, yeah, bro, we're still dealing with that. We're still dealing with these guys who want to cut the head off of Jacob, to cut the head off of Israel. These guys hate Israel. They hate Jews. They hate Israel. They hate the Torah. And I'm like, let you do you and I do me. But they're not doing that. They're like, you can't do you. We're going to kill you. And I'm like, what? What? That's crazy. So we got these enemies. And I'm like, you've been attacked by them. I've been attacked by them. We got to lock arms and fight together, bro, because we're under attack.
So that's very interesting because we know that the sultans from Morocco and Northwest Africa did play a major role in the transatlantic slave trade. That's an absolute fact. And before you get the transatlantic slave trade, you have the East African slave trade. And I'm over here in East Africa, and you can see if you go like to Zanzibar and you go to the slave quarters in Zanzibar, even as far as here in Tanzania, Uganda, you can see many Bantu speaking Hebrew were affected by the Arab slave trade. That's a fact. Here goes something for you. Before I continue on with my question, how you feeling based on what's going on right now in Israel? How you doing? How's your family, your immediate family doing? How's your spirit feeling right now as this war is going on in Israel?
I mean, listen, I've been in bomb shelters in and out. At any moment right now, I may have to run for security reasons. Um, the kids aren't traumatized. We raise our kids to trust in God and believe in God and the plan. So there's no fear, but there's resilience and strength. And we're really passionate about living and surviving. And God wants us to be happy and to enjoy our lives. So if you're not going to be happy and be grateful for whatever you got, then you're not doing God right. So right now, thank God, no one's complaining or super grateful, but we do have levels to level up here because I'm not saying the state of Israel is perfect. I mean, if we clearly have a situation where the law and the Torah is not running the show, it's a democratic American puppets type of thing. So it's like we got to transition a little bit more into like what God wants versus what we want. And I think that's what the Jewish people's next challenge is, according to prophecy, what will happen. But for all intents and purposes, my brother, very, very, very grateful to be here right now in the Holy Land. And I'm definitely saving you a spot.
It's definitely an honor. So have you kept up with communication with the Mishpachah, my family over in Dabona, Israel? Have you been keeping up with the family over there?
Oh, yeah. First of all, sorry I'm all just waving my hands. I'm outside now because my kids are sleeping, so I don't want to make too much noise. And it's 1:30 in the morning, and there's a mosquito out here. and I don't want to kill it, so I'm just fluffing them around. But what was that question again?
I was saying, have you been keeping up with the family over in Demona? I've did some interviews with
First
them.
of all,
I'm looking to
yeah,
go.
those guys are the best. I mean, and I'm like, you want to know what humans should look like when they heal and live together? Just look at that village. I'm like, every single village in the world should look at the Demona Black Hebrew Israelite community over there and just see how blessed they are, how healthy, how happy. These people don't lock their doors. These people, no one's stealing from nobody. There's no gangs. There's no drugs. There's nothing of the sort. This is the coolest, vegan, healthiest, spiritual, singing, dancing, snappiest community I've ever seen. And I'm like, wow, if this is the potential that lies within the African American diaspora, when they wake up and re-arouse themselves like these guys did, it's going to be a great world. So I'm like, I don't look at the African American now as like how the media portrays it and how I grew up. Obviously, me and my friends had our shoes stolen at basketball courts. When I grew up in Jamaica, Queens. So the stereotypes and all this stuff, and you guys obviously paying your check to the landlord, the Jew guys. So there's stereotypes on both sides. I'm like, let's not look at the exile version of each other. Let's look at the redemption version of each other. What do we look like when we're free and we're chilling? Then that's the African American community, the most beautiful, soulful community that there is, the whole world. I mean, the fact that I had to know rap songs or wear a Shaq jersey when I was in fourth grade, that's the culture. It's like something's going on, you know. So I kept an eye.
Now, can you hear me better now? Am I clear?
I do, yeah. Thank God they're good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good, 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 good. Yeah, that's definitely a true case, and I know that you was like you dealt with them over there. I wanted to ask you your relationship with my great Saba, my grand Saba, Prince Asiel. What was your connection with him, and how did y'all communicate when he was here with the land of the living?
uh, I mean, this Pomona community would invite me over and for their celebrations. I would come down. I would learn from them. I would partake in their festivities and their rituals, and it was so beautiful being welcomed and invited into such a warm community. They gave me honor and respect, and these people are serving in the army and serving the country. And Lord knows there's definitely levels to the game of equality. Um, so my memories are just of only righteousness. These are righteous, righteous, holy people, righteous, holy souls. A
Absolutely,
lot of
absolutely. Yeah,
I have a question, bro.
yo,
I
I
had a
definitely
question.
see them with. I definitely
You
see
see
the
them? It's
mosquitoes, but go
crazy.
ahead,
I'm
DJ
being so
Genesis.
compassionate because I wanted to slam, slam, slam. Like, yo,
Yeah, I don't kill the mosquito. But go ahead,
that's
DJ
okay.
Genesis.
I have a
Okay.
question. I was trying to find out whether or not is this a this I tribe uh is this a taking undertaking only by yourself, or are you backed by also the community in Israel, the Jewish community, the other rabbis? Are you do you is this a unified feeling that everyone kind of feels that we need to come together,
Uh,
or is this really an
I
undertaking only solely by you?
I initiated this project as a descendant of the Vilna Gaon, who was like he had an authority on the matter. So I'm like, oh, if I'm from him and he said this is the matter, let's make it the matter. So I made it a matter, and then I went to all the rabbis, every chief rabbi, great rabbis, sages, Torah scholars, and I showed them the text and the sources, and I'm like, listen, here's what's going on. Here's the real. Every single rabbi was like, yeah, this is exactly what we need. Like we're I got a lot of support. Even when I went to the government and I was speaking to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about this project, he's They were like, it's too good to be true. If you could really take that whole entire community and unite them with us, Harry, you're crazy. You're a dreamer. It's not going to happen. They're not going to want to be partners with us. And I'm like, watch it, watch. And they're like, oh, Harry's a crazy guy. So people in the government, high up in Israel, they were like, too good to be true if this is actually real. So the Jewish people are super excited about this concept about a greater house of Israel forming. And this doesn't involve conversion or the right of return yet. We're not talking about becoming Jewish or making Aliyah. We're talking about some simple uh, strategy of uniting and decentralizing the powers that be that are keeping us in exile.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because when you came to me with this concept and I reviewed it and I was looking, and at the end of the day, when it all boils down, that's the basic fundamental idea that you see outlined in the Tanakh, mainly starting at the 60th chapter of Yeshayahu or Isaiah to the 66th chapter of this gathering. How do you feel about, because a lot of people, when they read the scripture, they read it on its literal surface level, that something to like literally crack the sky and cause this to happen, versus there are intellectual minded people within this social framework that will cause this undertaking. Is this how you're viewing it, Robbie? That like minds like myself, yourself, and others that understand that it's going to take some type of ground footwork and movement to cause the shifting to take place to accomplish this gathering of these 12 tribes. Are you looking at it from that retrospect as well?
Yeah, I like how you dissected that verse, and for sure we got to make moves and do things on our own. And we do teach there's 70 layers to understanding the Torah and the scriptures, and the blessings when Jacob blessed all the 12 tribes. The blessing he gave to Judah was you're going to hold on to the scepter of the law until Shiloh comes. It says in the verse, Shiloh until Shiloh comes. That those wordings is the same gematria numerical value as the word Mashiach. Meaning, until the Mashiach comes, there's going to be a court and a law in the tribe of Judah of how to decipher and understand the Torah. That's what the Jewish people have. Not all the Jewish people are direct descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Some of them were converts. King Solomon had 1,000 wives. Moses let Jethro come in and convert. Moses brought ancient Egyptians out of Egypt called the Arab, the mixed multitude, and convert. Being a Jew is not based on blood or DNA. It's based on protecting and preserving the Torah. The Torah does belong to the whole house of Israel. But where it was protected and preserved was only one place in the world. So now my favorite thing to do is not to watch a good Netflix episode, but to listen to the secrets of the greatest Kabbalistic rabbis and how they break down a verse and the secrets hidden in it and the gematria, the codes. We could spend weeks and months and years learning the coolest things in the world just from this Torah. So what the Jewish people preserved over the thousands of years of this exile is a gift, a treasure for the whole scattered house of Israel to re-inherit and take back and be like, thank you guys, let's do it.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting that you brought up the 49th chapter of Bereshit. And I know you know Ivrit, and when they say Shiloh or Sheol, I know in Ivrit you will say Shamishay, you would say whose is that? You would say Shiloh or Sheol, that's Shalom, that's it's mine. So, I know a lot of people use that verse to say like this special Messiah will come. But from my understanding, whatever king that's sitting on, or Melech that's sitting on that throne, they will persify Shiloh, because it will be his right to interpret the Torah based on the social construct of the people. Now, you will have people that have mixed arguments. This is a question for you, Abi, because you will have people say you can't mix religion and politics. You'll hear this. We all hear this. But when I read the Book of Kings and Chronicles, I definitely see a geopolitical stance, how King David moved, how Solomon moved. My question to you, is it possible that you can mix spirituality and politics? Or do we have to keep them separated?
For sure. I mean, when the house of David ruled over Israel, all the tribes were under the kingdom of Judah. There was a king, you know. So we for sure eventually have to mix and match and say, hey, we're going to need a king to arise. We're going to need the lawgivers. We're going to need sages. We're going to need a court, all this stuff. So right now, where Israel is today is not where we're going to be when the redemption is here, when the third temple was built, and etc. It's going to be a whole different reality.
Russ, here's a question.
Yeah.
When you
Listen.
go to other like the rabbin, when you go to other rabbis, what is the feelings of them seeing you connected with Israelites throughout Africa, the United States, the Far East? What does they take and their expression as you help to gather up Israelites of darker hue? How do they feel? Because
The most
you hear
important
the
thing
story.
is I'm not coming from like my own agenda. When I'm coming from our ancestors' agenda. So I'm showing these rabbis what their rabbi said. I'm like, here's what your rabbi said. Here's what we got to do. It's like, you're not arguing with me. You're going to argue with him. In Judaism, you're not allowed to argue with like a former thing that was like redacted and codified as like Jewish theology law. Like that's a reality. So I present the reality. This is not an option. This is not a topic of discussion. This is there will be a global house of Israel, a commonwealth that will form one day in the future. How are we going to get there? And may the best man try and win.
Wow, that's interesting. You know, it puts a smile on my face because I'm going to tell you something. If you haven't recognized it, Robbie, your presence being amongst the Hebrew Israelite community for the years that you've been, give a shout out to Chief Abdiel Ben Levi, also known as Zion Lex. You know what I mean? He was one of the first ones, you know, shout out to my brother. I've known Zion Lex for many, many, many years. And he was one of the first, if not the first, to connect with you and bring you to the forefront with the Israelite community when it was a time where that was like somewhat taboo from both sides. So it wasn't just the Jewish side alone. It was both the Jewish side and the Israelite side that there was mixed messages, even from myself, because when you first got, I was like, who this guy? You know what I'm saying? Let me, watch him. And I can say, with all clarity, over the years, you've been very consistent with your message. Me and we've been on a few shows together before. I did an extensive interview with you, on the way of Yah. So now, you can see, because this originally was an idea that you had and you were spreading. Now the idea is becoming a reality. Also, the Ancient Bantu Hebrew Israelite Awareness Center here in Tanzania, East Africa, gives you a shout out to Robbie. Your name is spreading not only just in the United States, but throughout Africa as well. What is the end game behind all this, Robbie? At the very end of it all, what is the end game and what do you want to accomplish in the end with all this?
Are you still there?
Are you there, Robbie? He'll come back on. Maybe he's having like some technical difficulties real quick where he's at. But this is very interesting, DJ Genesis, because this actually shows that all rabbis and everybody in Judaism isn't saying that, quote unquote, Black Hebrew Israelites or African Hebrew Israelites or Israelites, however you want to call us, they're not saying that we're not Israelites, because this is a respected Rabbi that's known all over the world that recognizes that Black Americans are, in fact, the direct descendants of the Israelites. So this is a man that's saying this out of his mouth. Let's just give him a few minutes. He'll come back on. Let me.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I mean, for the most part, I've always heard the opposite, that they felt like that they didn't recognize the Hebrew Israelites in America. So this is the first time I'm actually hearing Rabbi actually admit that, hey, because remember when Kanye West was saying that, and also when the one guy, Kyrie Irving, said that, he had to apologize and everything. So it's interesting that now they're saying we need to unite and this, that, the other. But man, I wish that this would have happened before, where you didn't have people's whole career get ruined when they proclaimed this. I think Nick Cannon said that, out in front of everything. And that could have been used, but to unite us, to unite the people. But instead it was used as a weapon to say, well, you're anti-Semitic. Well, if now that you have the rabbis finally coming together and saying, you know what, there is some truth that there is the Israelites, and that we are going to come together, and and put that out there. Now I just wish it would have came a little sooner. That's the only thing.
Well, say you had Rabbi Harry Rozenberg even during the time of Kyrie Irving, and what was going on with Nick Cannon doing presentations of showing the Israelite presence throughout Africa during this time. And he actually did bring up the situation with Kyrie Irving. And like you said, I wish it was more rabbis at the time to speak out. And even to this day, it's really not many of them. But Rabbi Harry Rozenberg is such a powerful energy that he's even causing many of his peers to take a second look. I'm just waiting for Harry Rozenberg, the Robbie, to come back on. Are you back yet, Robbie? I'm just waiting for his, he's coming back. Let me see. So it's okay, system crash. He's restarting it now. He just, okay, his system crashed. He said he's restarting it now. What you can do is, maybe you want to put up a clip real quick, DJ Genesis. You could just type in Rabbi Harry Rozenberg saying they're like Black Israelites in Africa. Matter of fact, let me see if I can grab one real quick, and you can just play while he's setting it up real quick. Unless you are already up there on it.
Oh,
there you go.
Sorry about that. My system's crashed.
It's no problem, Robbie. Matter of fact, you right on time. You didn't miss anything. DJ Genesis came on, and we were speaking briefly about what was going on during the time when Kyrie Irving put up I believe it was either TikTok text or something like that, or Instagram text, where he was bringing up a documentary called From Hebrews to Negroes. And as a matter of fact, many people don't even know you actually debated Ron Dalton. I remember that.
Did he get to hear what we said about like the whole Kyrie Irving thing, and how like I wish that this movement existed back then when all that was going on? Did he get to hear that?
Did you get to hear that, Robbie?
Yeah, okay. I'm locked in with you guys.
Okay. Cool.
So
my main thing here is that well, keep going, then I'll respond.
Yeah, I was laughing because when Kyrie Irving was brought up, I was like, people don't even know this is the same man that actually debated Ron Dalton. You had, or I'm gonna say y'all had a powerful discussion.
Well, I actually found the one big hole in his whole entire ship that sunk his theory that never got really addressed, and that's why I stopped talking to him. I was like, you got so much cool stuff, but you failed at one point. So Ron Dalton's like, he goes hard on the Ashkenazi Jews and there, etc. But I'm like, You can't even argue on the Sephardic Jews, on the Jews of Spain and Portugal of the 1400s and 1300s. Like, that was a reality. And Ron's like, yeah, yeah. I'm like, well, did you have any rabbis, like books written, like texts, or like, do you have any connection to those Jewish people from those Sephardic communities? If you don't, you went into exile and you got disconnected. You got to reconnect. So it's like the disconnect between Ron Dalton and a Maimonides, who was a guy who, was a Sephardic rabbi, who was a advisor to the pharaohs, to the sultans, to the rulers of the world. These guys were powerful Sephardic Israelite dark-skinned men, but they kept the same law that the Jewish people keeping today. I'm like, so Ron, you want to be Jewish? Act Jewish. Like, do what the Rambam was doing. Act like that and keep the laws and the commandments. You're making your own religion, bro. You're turning it into like you are the guy and this is an awakening. And it's like, no, we got a whole thing that's already been happening way before you. And we got to humble ourselves to that. I humble myself to that also.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me ask you, how did, when that situation went on with Kyrie Irving and Nick Cannon, I remember actually during that time, you actually did a presentation on the Israelite presence in West Africa. Mainly, you was talking about the Igbos and the African Americans and some other people. How do you feel about what happened with Kyrie Irving? Because all he did was I really don't think he knew the dynamics, but he seen something he found interesting. He posted it. And then from there, it was like this big outlash on him. And he never really got to, he had to pay all these fines and things like that. How do you feel about what happened to him? And what should be the future if somebody that's not really educated about Jewish history affairs and along with Israelite history and affairs? What do you think? What is your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I love Kyrie and Kanye. Those are two of my guys. I like them both. I don't feel any Jew hatred or anti-Semitism. I feel they have valid points that need to be heard, but they need to be understood and compartmentalized. That means these guys need to be in touch with a rabbi. They not be talking to a politician or a person or a newspaper. They need to talk to a rabbi and get together and break it down. Similarly to what happened to me and the basketball player, NBA star Amari Stoudemire. He was, before I met him, he was raised Torah, House of Israel. This is where you come from. These ships, you came off these ships. This is you. He knew the whole time. But there was a huge disconnect, and he was surrounded by a team of, big Bible scholars and etc. We're not here to battle. We're here to build. So once you sit down with a rabbi, the rabbi explains here's what happened 2,500 years ago. Here's what happened 2,000 years ago. Here's what was written down here and here's there. We've kept all the records and everything makes sense. You can start to understand, oh, I fit into the diaspora. I fit into the picture. I fit into this whole thing. And you realize that there's only one source for the law of Moses that exists alive today that's pure and uncut. All the other things are cut. We're from the streets, both me and you. When you buy something, you're going to cut it and mix it. The Torah is the uncut. This is the purest form of Moses' way of
Don't
thinking.
tell him, Robbie, you from the street. Don't tell him.
I was a bad kid before I grew my beard. I grew up. I was a drug dealer. I had spinners on my car. I had tinted windows.
Right.
When I rolled through my trunk, I had scales and bags and BB guns, and so I was a bad kid. But when I got to college in America, I realized I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not American. I'm Jewish. I'm from a rabbi. I'm like, let me get out of this Roman exile. I woke myself up. myself up.
So tell us about your experience of waking up. You know what I mean? Because you hear a lot of the stories of, Black Israelites, and I'm only using that word. So just Israelites of foundational Black American descent or African American descent. We hear our stories. Tell us your story, a brief synopsis of how you woke up to your heritage as being Jewish.
Yeah, it's a little embarrassing, not embarrassing. I don't know what it is, but whatever it was is in college in America, like, it's a big difference between America and Israel. In college in America, you're like, oh, you're 18, great, go party for 4 years and get drunk and like do things like and like waste your life for 4 years and pay and get that. And it's like, what? In Israel, when you're 18, you're going to the army, you know. So in America, I was like, we're just gonna have to party as hard as we can. That was what America taught us to do at the age of 18 years old. What are you supposed to be doing in America as an 18-year-old kid in college? Party time, game, music, drink, boom, bang, bang. So I'm locked in. I'm doing all the partying. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a good American citizen of the world, just partying. But sometimes you could party too hard and end up over partying yourself into having a spiritual experience, which was happened to me at an event when guys are eating these magic mushrooms and stuff and start taking hallucinogenic stuff and seeing things. All of a sudden, I saw the coolest guys in the world. I'm like, yo, this guy's the coolest dude ever, but he's losing his cool right now. He's not cool right now. He's freaking out on this mushroom. He lost his cool. And I'm like, wow, everyone's losing their cool around me. And I went in, left, I went my own space, closed my eyes.
You hear him, DJ Genesis?
Was you at the rave? Was you at the rave club? Was you at a rave taking some shrooms, raving? You was at some techno music at the rave.
This happened to have been in an apartment in the meatpacking industry.
It was a
in
rave.
Manhattan, where
It was
coincidentally, where next
was it a loft?
No, it was a private, because these young kids in college get their own apartments in New York City, which is dangerous.
Okay.
So now you got apartments in New York City where these 18-year-old kids have their own freedom to just do things, which is crazy. It's like, who's going to give an 18-year-old kid an apartment in New York City is nuts. So the amount of drugs and things that go on over there is insane. But happens to be, coincidentally, by the way, that where I was next door to where Amari Stoudemire was living when he was on the Knicks, because he was on Jane Street in the meatpacking industry, and this was on Horatio Street in the meatpacking industry. But yeah, at that party, I woke up, I had a whole experience within my mushroom journey, you can call it, and it led me to realize that every single person in this room with me is fake. I'm like, we got no truth in our lives, and the reason we're having a bad trip is because we don't have this truth in our life. And our ancestors are King David and King Solomon, and they wrote things down and we don't know it by heart. Are we nuts? You're looking to get high and you're not reading King Solomon said about how to get high? It's like, come on now. So I put a full hard stop. I text messaged all the girls, all the guys, everyone. I'm like, no drugs, no partying, nothing. I'm out. I'm going to yeshiva. I'm leaving the whole scene. I tapped out. And I went to Israel. I went to yeshiva and I studied for many, many years, 7 years in yeshiva. More here, there. I spent, instead of taking drugs to consume, the Torah is the drug of life. I was taking the Torah as my drug, and got me really high. And then I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And so I got lucky, because if I didn't have that one strange party experience, I would probably be some sleazy Jewish landlord, perhaps, and still comfortable in the exile, making money and not putting my money into the land of Israel. So a lot of people got to wake up.
So, I have a question. The Anti-Defamation League, they
not to hate on the landlords, by the way.
They talk about like this word anti-Semitism, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a person that considers themselves to be an Israelite, the word anti-Semitism, I mean, is there a separation that is a line that's understood between the Black Hebrew Israelites and like
Yeah, I mean, there's so many
Semite?
nuances. There's been I mean, people have been trying to kill Israelites for like since Pharaoh, like 3,000 years. Like the Greeks were trying to kill Israelites, and the Romans were trying to kill the Israelites, and the Babylonians were trying to kill the Israelites. And then wherever the Israelites go, they're gonna get killed. Why? Because they're unique and they're separate and they're distinct. And so it's like an exclusive club that's not exclusive. It's like, so the intimidation, I think, is what causes the fear of the Jew of like, whoa, like what's going on here? And that's what causes people to want to take us down. But they've been hunting us down forever, Jews. And I guess you guys can relate to, as an African American, what it's like to be hunted down, just in your DNA, your epigenetic memories. So anti-Semitism is like, it means so many things. It's against the people of, it's politicized. I don't know what to tell you about it, but we're being hunted down the whole time, and we need to get safe really quick, real soon.
Is there a difference between a Jew and an Israelite? What is the difference?
Yeah, big difference.
Because I thought, okay,
great call. Yeah, a Jew means you're locked into the Torah and the 613 commandments, and you're like in the order. You're in. Israelite means you could be Zeri Yisrael, you could be the seed of Israel, you could be a direct male descendant of Moses. I don't care if Hebrew Hammer or anyone, father, or father, all the way back to Moses. You're a direct descendant of Moses. That doesn't make a difference to us. It's all about, are you in the code or not in the code? So the house of Israel is a scattered seed of the Israelites. There's 40 million in Afghanistan, 50 million in Nigeria, all throughout the whole Silk Road, all throughout the world. There's clans with customs and traditions from the ancient Israelites. That's all fun and games. That's the house of Israel. The Jewish people are like the football team huddling around the ball, like holding the code, holding the Torah, so that when the time's right, it could be reshared with everyone. So that's the distinction. Between, like, you can consider it like a distinction in the ancient Israelites. There was like a priest and an Israelite, right? In the Israelite camps, you had the priests and the Israelites. They're one nation, one people. One has a role of service and study, and one is just to chill. So the Jewish people is like kind of took upon themselves the role of that priestly class. Like, we're going to keep the law, we'll be here to serve, and you guys could be the house of Israel. So in the future, according to prophecy and Kabbalah, what we teach is that the whole world gets called Israel, actually, and Israel gets called Jerusalem, and that all the people of the world are going to be called Jewish, and the Jewish people are going to be called priests. So you want to be a priest? Yeah, you're going to study the law, 613 commandments, how to break it down, how the Torah works, flow through it, how do we teach it? All this stuff, you're going to memorize it and lock it down. You could be a priest also. You want to just be a regular Israelite? That's all good. But whatever it is, we got to make sure there's no evil in the world, and we're free to enjoy this planet like God intended us to do.
All right. So the Jews are considered the priest of Israel.
In the future, not yet.
Oh, okay. So that's what the goal of it is. It's like the Jews become the priests, the Israelites.
The people that serve. Yeah.
So he's
the job of the priest is to serve.
So what I'm getting from him, he's recognizing us as being Israelites by the seed of our fathers, but in his spiritual sense, in the higher realm of things, he's saying that the Jewish community, they held hold of the Torah, which the Torah is actually the template, so to say, to return the people back to their sovereignship. Because remember, when we read all throughout the scripture, the children of Israel violated the Constitution, which is the Torah. So when we went into this exile, you're seeing this segment of people holding this Torah. So then when the children of Israel will wake up, because it makes sense, because if you notice the elevation of Israel during the transatlantic slave trade, and I'm only talking about a segment of Israelites, you see us during the transatlantic slave trade. And then, as you know, after 1865, you get this, Emancipation Proclamation, the freeing of the slaves, quote unquote. Then you see in the Black Code laws, and then you're seeing this rising of these ex-slaves starting to unite themselves as being Israelites. You see in people like in 1847, William S. Crawley. You know what I mean? You're seeing a man by the name of Prophet Frank S. Cherry and others that's coming. But you're still seeing that Christianization of these men coming from out of that and recognizing themselves as Israelites. And then you start to see in the early 20th century, 1913, you're seeing like Rabbi Arnold Josiah Ford. You're seeing Rabbi Wentworth A. Matthews. And what they did was they went to the Jewish community, because the reality is the Jewish community had many of the relics of the ancient Israelite culture and history. So from what I'm getting from what the Rabbi is saying is like, yes, y'all are Israelites by bloodline. Black Americans, y'all Israelites by bloodline. Yes, Jamaicans, y'all Israelites by bloodline. But y'all didn't have the etiquette, so to say, which is Torah, which will help us to come directly out of this captivity. And I feel as though through the history that you see many of the Jewish rabbis preserving this history. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's definitely a true point, because
not only that, the Jewish people are, according to the law, are obligated to find those lost sheep of Israel and give them their Torah back. Get them their Torah back. That's their inheritance.
I want to stop you for 1 second, Rob, because I'm seeing certain comments. You got to. It's like my imam said. You have to eat the steak and spit out the bone. You got to hear what the man's saying. He just said, we're coming to the people to give them their Torah back. Sometimes the Most High calls certain events that happen to wake up a people. So while we was in exile, somebody or someone had to keep these records for us to link ourselves back. And if we look at our history, and I'm talking about Black Americans, without any biasness, when we look at the history, and a good book to get to read by James Landis, it's called Black Judaism. And you can see that the early forefathers in our nation did get support from early Jewish communities in Harlem, New York, and in Brooklyn, New York, which helped us to elevate to where we're at today. So we don't want to just be naive and just make it seem like we just learned this knowledge from out of a vacuum. But there were different things that transpire to get us where we at today. Now, am I saying that everything that the Jewish community is saying is correct? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that the Most High used the Jewish community to preserve certain Hebraic relics, such as the Torah, for us to return back to that. Because if not, because remember, we was in exile. So all our records was gone. But you still had, remember, during the Moorish Empire, you had Israelites in the Moorish Empire. And then when we got exiled in 1492, and you had King John II that exiled many of us to San Tom, which is an island on the west coast of Africa, many of our records were left in Spain, in Portugal. So you had many of these Jewish sages and rabbis that kept much of this information. So we just want to make sure that we on point. Somebody said for so many years Rozenberg was living out 6 months in Israel, but he didn't even join something. You didn't join the IDF. Do you see that statement right there, Robbie?
Yeah, some nice guy said that. When I moved to Israel, I was
Okay.
already over 27 years old. I got a letter from the army saying, "Thank you, but you're not welcome to serve in the army." And I
Yeah,
said,
because your
"Okay."
age.
But guess what? My son, who's now 16, 17 years old, is already recruited and drafted, and he's going to serve his country.
Right.
You know, a
Right.
question someone was talking about, I guess also the pay for the education, that I guess people have to pay for their education in that system, in that some people probably don't have to pay. Did you not have to pay as well?
Oh, I mean, listen, there's in the Jewish community, there's a lot of poverty, but no one is denied access to knowledge. That means if you want to go to a Jewish school and study and you can't afford it, the community makes sure it happens. That means the rabbis are stepping in and funding and helping and loans, and everyone got each other back. No one gets excluded, and it's not to make money. Who you? Hey, you have to pay your educators. Even today, we don't pay our rabbis enough. Rabbis, teachers should be getting paid like doctors and lawyers should be getting paid. But yeah, you have to pay to have someone teach your children this stuff and learn it. And if you can't, you got to barter or figure out how you could do it. It's just,
Right. Right.
Well, in America, like the Jewish community is very separated out. Like I know even in Texas, they have a South African. I think if they are Russian or something, I think they're South African Jews in Dallas. And they go to their own school. They have their own. They walk to the synagogue. They all live in the same like area, and it's like gated off, like so it's like there's so much separation that happens. Like like I wanted to go to the synagogue to see what was up, but I was like scared because I was like it looked
uh,
so like like they were just their own like they just was separated out from everybody. Like they kind of
that's a
separated
result
themselves.
of 2,000 years of trauma and like rape and exile. I mean, like my grandfather had to leave his house, and their assets and their paintings and their homes were taken by Gentiles who killed them. And like that happened like about every 50 years or so. Every 150 years, Jewish people were subject to losing your house, lose your money, you're getting kicked out, and that's it, and you're screwed. And it's like, okay, we really are messed up trauma wise. So we got to huddle, lock arms, and we don't want nobody interfering with us until we got a king Messiah going to come from the house of David and bring us back to safety. So don't expect to find a friendly, happy Jew because we're just coming out of 2,000 years of a very bitter experience.
So when you
Yeah.
say that you're reuniting the lost tribes of Israel, you talk about that might not include a year return, or the return aspect of it. What will it
We're
take for
not
that also to be part of it?
we're not talking about necessarily a geographic return to Israel. You're not converting. You're not moving to Israel. You want to do that? You're gonna have to work really hard to become a Jew. To become a Jew is super hard. You got to keep 613 commandments and live in a Jewish community, study and know the laws and all these things. If you want to do all that and take it upon yourself and live that life of servitude, it's like a priest. You got to wake up early, all this stuff. You want to do that? By all means, the path is there, but it's hard work. So the people who get to live in the land of Israel are the people who are going to agree to 613 commandments. I'm going to live this life. Shabbat, kosher, modesty, all the things. Every nook and cranny.
So would
Yeah.
you so is it so I'm sorry. Do you
No.
have to take a law of poverty when you actually become a rabbi? Do you have to take an oath of poverty?
No, some of the greatest. Moses was very rich. Moses was a very rich man. Rabbi's allowed to flex and be wealthy. So what you do with your money is a different thing. I'm not gonna get
Right.
money and buy nice outfits. I'm gonna get money. I'm gonna send some villages in Africa to get some greenhouses, some solar panels. I got an orphanage over here. I got a community over here. Our money gets recirculated. You have Jewish philanthropists that give millions of dollars away just to help other people. We don't look at money as so real. It's a little bit of like monopoly stuff, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting that you're saying that, right? This is why I wanted to, this is one of the reasons why I developed Hebrew Israelite sovereign nationalism, because I've been involved in the Israelite culture going on 35 years. And I want to announce I will be officially a Zaquain next week. I will be 50 next week, and I will be officially an elder in the Israelite community. I just want to thank Yahweh that he's preserved my life for so many years coming out of Philly, and then now running this community over here in Tanzania, East Africa. What I want to say to the people is one of the reasons why I developed Hebrew Israelite sovereign nationalism, because what I've seen in our community as Hebrew Israelites, I've seen us become nationalists to religiosities, meaning like most Israelites or most of the youth that come in the Israelite culture today, they look at it more from a religio standpoint. Yeah, they'll look at Devarim or Deuteronomy 28 and Leviticus 26 or Wayikra, and they'll see the curses and things like that, and they'll read Babylon to Timbuktu. Look, we Israelites. Yes, that is true. We are Israelites, but there has to be some ground footwork so we can cause momentum and motion to take place so we can create our freedom. Because a lot of times we get so caught up in the social nicety of things that we forget that there's methods and measurement to achieve freedom. You know what I mean? Where we have become so complacent within this understanding of us being Israelites that we feel as though that we can just sit around and just wait for our freedom to be given, versus we have to take our freedom by ways of manifesting the application of what we know. So this is why I built the Ancient Bantu Hebrew Israelite Awareness Center in Tanzania, East Africa. This is why I'm going to different countries throughout Africa to find remnants of the lost tribes of Israel. As I was in the United States, what I was doing is going to Israelites all throughout the United States, all the different, where you talking Shema Israel, Bnei Adad, Beit Zedek, Torah, Beit Hetzabai, whatever the case may be, Kifraim. The whole thing is we have to seek from our elders. See, I sat under elders. A lot of people think they can just learn this on their own. No. When you go into Devarim or Deuteronomy 32, verse 6 and 7, it tells you to go to your Abba that he may tell you, and go to the Zakwanim or the elders in our community that they may show us. Remember, Israel, the Torah was our constitution. So by it being our constitution, there's rules of engagement, how we operate as a governing body politic. This is why I sat under some of the greatest master teachers. I literally sat under the late Ben Ami and the late Prince Asiel, these men that paved the way for us to have a better day and a brighter tomorrow. So I think Rabbi Harry Rozenberg's idea is a dope idea, and how he's trying to, connect all these Israelite tribes. Because you got to remember, the man is clearly letting you know there's a difference from being Jewish versus an Israelite. He's saying you don't even have to be a blood descent to be Jewish. It's not a blood descent. An Israelite is a blood descent. So I want to commend him for standing up, because the reality is we don't have many Jewish rabbis that will openly admit, and it's a part of their platform to express that the Black people in America are in fact the actual direct descendants of the Israelites. And that's a part of the major platform that he's expressing, because the reality is men like that would be considered what you would call a whistleblower. You know what I'm saying? And when you say, and I know what you're saying, young brother, but you got to look at the bigger picture. Let's look at King David. Let's look at this stance geopolitically, because until he come back. Let's build.
Is he gone, or is he just?
No, he'll be back. He'll come back.
Okay.
YS Millennium. you're putting up things and you're not looking at the bigger picture. You're correct. We're not supposed to trust our enemies, but you can't look at an individual. Like, for instance, the Medo Persians, they were our enemies, right? They were our enemies. But the Most High turned around and used King Cyrus, who also was a Medo Persian, to free the children of Israel. As long as we look at things from a religious standpoint, we're not going to never elevate geopolitically. Every nation on the planet elevated by taking a geopolitical stance. If you look at the scripture historically and not religiously, that means that we dealt in geopolitics. You see King David dealing in geopolitics, dealing with import and export, making alliances with certain nations to outmaneuver the enemy. And like the sister said, she built journal. She said they know the truth, but yet I haven't heard not one rabbi talking about all the harm. And that's true. And that's why I commend Harry Rozenberg, because if you watch some of his lectures, he does, say them things. So we gotta, there you go, he's back. So this is what we have to do as a people. We have to understand our strengths and our weaknesses as a nation. We can no longer sit complacently and just wait on something. We have to now, as the late Dr. Khaled Muhammad said it best, now it's time to get suited and booted. My whole thing is, if people in the chat or any chat, if they don't like what they hear, then put your input on it by the way of becoming suited and booted, and put your feet on the ground and make something happen. This is, we can no longer say, I don't like that, but we're not doing anything. This is why when I developed Hebrew Israelite sovereign nationalism, I couldn't just say, I'm the founder of Hebrew Israelite sovereign nationalism, but I'm sitting in my nice home in the United States and I'm not doing nothing but just coming on social media and talking. I had to make things real for the people so they can see. So now you got Israelites all over the world that come here to Tanzania to participate in the ancient Bantu Hebrew Israelite Awareness Center, the Hebrew Israelite farmhouse we have out here, the compound that we have, the tours that we do on Kilimanjaro, going to see the Imyombo tribe, the Haya tribe, the Impare tribe, the Chaga tribe, these different tribes throughout Africa that's identifying themselves as Israelites from a social anthropological perspective. Now we're on the ground. For instance, I challenged the late Adad the Danite, historian of the 9th century ACE, because he mentioned about the Israelite presence in East Africa. All these locations where this man said that these Israelites existed, I went to these locations and you can see remnants of these Israelites to this day. That's what I mean by dealing, and you're correct, we're not African. Let me, and I want to clarify this, and then I'm gonna give it back to the Rabbi.
Thank you.
Watch this. We're not African, but the people in Africa, they're not even Africans. That is a One West concept that believe that people that live in Africa are Hamites and that people are outside of Africa are Shemites. This is a false narrative, man. The word Africa goes back to the Hebrew word afar. If you go to Genesis chapter 2, it speaks about us coming from the dust of the earth. The Hebrew word is afar, which means soil or dust. Then when you go to the 26th chapter of the book of Bereshit or Genesis, you see that Abraham had a son named Miniad through Keturah, and one of his sons was named Afar. The Afarites is what gives the word African. If you go to Josephus, those that lived south of Carthage was known as the children of Afar. So technically speaking, your true Africans are Shemites, a Shemitic tribe known as the children of Afar. So when we start to deal historically, we have to be mindful before we come on these chats and try to put our perspective out there, because you might have a real scholar that'll crush you and be like, well, even the people that are descendants of Ham technically are not Africans. The true Africans are this Shemitic tribe known as the children of Afar. And that's a fact. We talking historical fact, not no made up stuff. So the only Africans technically are the children of Afar, and they're a Shemitic tribe that descend from Midian. That's a fact. You can go to Josephus, he verifies that. You can go to Genesis chapter 26, it's verified. And you can go to Genesis 2 and see that word Africa goes back to the Hebrew word afar, which means soil or dust. That's a fact. That's a fact. So that's how
that's why they call you. That's why they call you what they call you. You're the big boss.
A lot of these people don't know. I'm an elder in this. I'm an OG in this.
Oh man!
So I've been doing this. A lot of these dudes was babies, man. You know what I'm saying? So I've been doing this.
You just saving. You saved that this whole time. You just saved that. You just flexed on us big time.
And wait, you gotta get more in the camera because I see half of your face. I'm not sure if that's by design.
This guy's a smart guy. He's a smart scholar.
He's been doing it for a long time. He fit about 50 years old. You half a century. You half a century. Okay.
Yeah. And I've heard all the arguments, and I'm gonna give it right to you. I don't like when people come on the platform. I know what we've been taught. It's time for us to challenge those that stumped our growth. If we keep saying, "Oh, we the people," and if we saying we upholding the Torah, but you ain't seeing no blessings, then it's something that we gotta restructure. This is this basic common sense. If you dealing in mathematical equation, you want the proper equations, and you're not getting it correctly, then you got to examine your formula. And that's
I give a shout out that he even created this I tribe. That's a great idea of bringing people together, finding out where the deficits are, and if they have the funds to be able to go into these communities that are Jewish or not Jewish or Hebrew Israelites that are struggling and help them when they don't have internet, when they can't get their electricity on all day long, and they could infuse the money to actually bring these people into modern era and be just as bountiful. I don't find anything wrong with it. So, there's other countries that are doing it and they don't have people's best interests at heart. They're only doing it based on politics and colonialism, China included, but these people are coming in from a religious standpoint of wanting to take care of the people of the tribe of Israel.
Yeah.
Rabbi, you don't know.
We're coming with big love.
So you'll know this Thursday coming up, we will be having Rabbi Harry Rozenberg on Scoreboard Keepers next Thursday. Each week, it's already lined up. It's going to be 8 different shows on 8 different platforms because this has to be spread. Because now
there's a lot of secrets we didn't get to discuss yet. It's already
lined you up, man. Already lined you up because this has to be done because that what you're doing is I want to commend you because what you're doing is reality it's dangerous. Like it's dangerous. Like, let me ask you a question, Robbie. I know some time ago you was getting, I'm not going to put too much out there, but when you stood up for the Israelite community, I know that you received threats in the past. Are you still receiving threats to this day, or
no? When I first started talking about this, in like 2012, back then, Jewish people were looking at me like, "You nuts, Harry? Are you crazy? Like, what are you doing?" But now, you see what's going on. You got guys like Rudy Rochman, big influencer, celebrity. Big guy in the Jewish world, like making documentaries going into Africa. We were never lost. He's this Jewish guy. He could be on a yacht in the Mediterranean Sea, retired if you want to see. He got enough money to chill. What is he doing in his life? He's going to film Israelite villages in Africa to expose to the world that the house of Israel is waking up. I'm like, so. At first, a lot of pushback and etc. But today, the scene, what's going on, we're very, very close to having total control over the land of Israel, and the third temple going to be built. Is going to be a big party for the blacks and the Jews. Finally, get to celebrate a little bit of fresh air after.
So we're gonna have some. We're gonna have some Manny Chevins. We're gonna have some.
That's what I'm saying. There's gonna be you got some dance moves. I want to say Bitcoins. We'll share each other's things.
Absolutely. I want to say the She Built Journal. I agree with you 100%. This is why, when he says the blacks and the Jews, he's saying the Israelites and the Jewish people. That's what he's saying. But I want to say to the sister, I agree with you 100%. There is a total disrespect, and that's why I'm FBA all day, foundational Black American. There has been a disrespect with people in the continent of Africa against Israelites that might be labeled certain byword names throughout Africa and even with Black Americans. So let's make this clear. When we're talking about Israelites in Africa, we're not talking about what is being considered African people or the Hamitic people. We're talking about those of the Shemitic descent that is still in Africa. Okay.
We're talking about villages of Israelites having forced or sold into slavery. Josephus mentions how many different ways we fled into Africa and how many times we had to run from trying to get from our homeland. These people are not African. They're not from Africa. They're from Israel. They ended up in Africa for maybe 1,500 years, 1,500 years or so. Who knows?
Right. So, and technically speaking, Israel, and I heard you say, and which I definitely stand on it, but I know you speak in the context of what people know today. But technically speaking, Israel is northeastern Africa.
Israel's on the African tectonic plates. I think. It's part of Africa for sure. But for all those Africans out there who are, still drinking blood and doing things like that and breaking the laws of Moses and all that, that's all good. We're gonna go there and we're gonna hook them up with some money and some laws and some code so they can enjoy the life that we're living.
And that's make it clear when he's saying African, he means Israelites that's following fetish ways. Because a lot of people will be like, "Oh, he meaning the Hamites." So I'm trying to, because you got Israelites.
No, we gotta stop. Everyone's got to stop trying to compartmentalize. Like you're this, I'm this, and this. Like, bro,
right?
There's only two things going on here. You got the Jews and the scattered house of Israel. That's it.
Right. We're not concerned about nobody else right now. But I gotta ask you a question. But to another topic, but I want to give honor before I ask this next question to everybody in the chat because everybody's words matter. Everybody's words matter because, like I said, Robbie, you was going to have some pushback. That's going to be a natural.
We may have to do a part 2 because I'm already doing this whole thing. I'm sick, and you can hear my voice is not how it normally sounds.
We're about to close out. I'm gonna give you 2 more verses, and what you told me to do, I just put that inside your WhatsApp. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What we talked about earlier. I already put
there we go.
All right. 2 questions.
Consider it closed with a done deal.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. That's already that's fast.
420 420 is the gematria of Egypt. Mitzrayim is 420. And
no. You could. All right, look. Here's a question.
Yeah.
It's you always hear of I got to give you a couple hard questions. I can't just let you go like that. Jewish conspiracy. Jewish conspiracy.
Oh man. Yeah.
I got to. I can't just let you go like that. All right,
bro.
So there's a thing that we know about the Illuminati. What is your intake to the Illuminati and the effect of global power and Jewish influence behind all this? What is your intake on it? Because I know that you acknowledge the Illuminati do exist, but give me your intake. What's your
First and foremost, I appreciate you asking that question because that's the final battle that we're going to have to face.
okay?
And I may be the only guy in the world who can expose certain secrets about this thing. And it's going to get crazy. But
Okay.
it's not going to be today on this conversation. It's going to be for the next one.
I remember one time you gave the interview I did with you on the way of y'all. I was praying
I'm
to the
ready.
Most High. I
I'm
said,
ready to
okay,
go, but I need
man.
I need Kanye to call me. If Kanye gonna call me, I'll be like, now I'm gonna say the secrets that are gonna be said. You get
Yeah,
Kanye on
we
the phone with
need. I
me.
mean,
I
when
need to be
you did that,
protected and safe.
listen, when you did that last show with me and you was going there, I said, oh my God, I hope this man, they
Oh
don't do nothing to
man,
this man because he putting it out there.
the banks
But
don't cancel
you
my
don't have
credit
to,
card.
you don't have to, you don't have to get, listen, you don't have to get that deep. Just a brief synopsis.
The concept of the Erev, of the mixed multitude, is when Moses left Egypt with the Israelites and they went to the desert. He didn't just leave with the Israelites. He left with a certain class of magicians, of wizards from Egypt, like dark
Right.
sorcerers that left and rolled through with Moses. And they're like, yo, we want to join the Torah. We want to be in on. We want in on the club. Moses like, yeah, come on. Moses is a
Right.
loving, happy guy. He's like, yo, let's roll.
Right.
And those guys ended up causing the sin of the golden calf. They ended up making idols,
Mm.
pedophilia, human sacrifices, and blood sacrifices and stuff. That's 3,000 years of infiltrated within the Jewish world through Moses and the Erev. Some crazy ancient occult systems. And that, my friend, is the final battle before the Mashiach comes, is to cleanse ourselves of this ancient Egyptian culture within amongst ourselves. And like I said, that's the tip of the iceberg, but I can't talk about it too much until I'm protected and safe. You gotta get Kanye to call me, and I'll let it all out.
I haven't spoke to Kanye West in probably like 15 years. You know what I mean? The last time when I was in Chicago, I had a run-in with him, some time ago. Maybe I can make some arrangements because
me and Kanye
that
together could
stuff you were
save the whole
saying
world.
That which you expressed right there, if people don't know what is going on, and I believe some people, they can read between the lines when we came out as a mix, huh?
No, I was just saying I got these mosquitoes. Sorry.
Oh yeah, the mixed multitude. Not only is that like a physical thing, but we're talking a spiritual and metaphysical thing as well. So this mixed multitude had mixed ideas. So I can see what you're saying about the dark arts was trickling down, and then from there, this illuministic idea came. But I ain't going to touch up on no more because I don't want to steal.
People really find out what's going on behind Jeffrey Epstein's island and this crazy stuff and all whatever. You're gonna see some wild stories.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you feel? Since you said that, this is the last question, and we're going to come back to part 2. Did you read the Epstein files? And if you did, what do you think?
Yeah, of course I read them, and I have a lot of thoughts, and I don't want to share my thoughts too much because I'm scared who's going to kill me. So, like I said, you get Kanye West, looped in, and then that's
Absolutely.
the safety, and then we could talk about things.
Absolutely. Yeah,
We're
yeah,
gonna work on. We're
definitely.
gonna
We
work on
definitely
content. We're gonna work on
our
getting
brother,
content.
our Hebrew Israelite brother said it's going to be more than wild stories going down. Yeah, that's an actual fact. But it's
But
definitely an
keep in
honor
mind,
and a
this is not
privilege.
a Jewish problem. You're not dealing with Jews. You're dealing with the occult.
Right,
The occult is not a Jewish
facts.
thing.
Right.
This is a
It
whole
existed
different
even
club.
before
A
the
whole
occult
different club.
existed even before the Jewish people.
You're not
But
invited to the
isn't there
occult.
Jewish
I'm
occultism?
not invited to the occult.
Isn't the Kabbalah? Isn't there
Facts, facts.
isn't certain these things
And as
occultism?
No,
we develop and
The
keep having these,
Kabbalah is the power of a human when he becomes a spiritual master, what powers he has. Meaning there's people who perform miracles and do and manipulate physical reality. That's Kabbalah stuff. You know, what you do with that, people can do dark things with that or great
facts,
things with that. Each of us has
facts,
the power to be a Kabbalist. You could be a Kabbalah master. You have the power to fly
facts,
and blast things and do things. You don't even know how to tap into your human powers anymore, bro.
Mm.
facts, facts. And we're gonna close out with this because we
Let's
definitely gonna come back.
go.
DJ Genesis, is it okay if we come back with a part two?
Oh, most definitely. And I've been
Mhm.
promoting the site. I've been like showing
Yeah,
it, the whole time. I want to give like and I've been like saying, hey, this is not just about like just bringing people together, but also bringing people together to also offer aid and assistance. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Could you give some final words on what this tribe site, why it's important to support it?
Yeah, I think it's important because when you wanna like do something big, you take a head count. Like who's in? Like so right now we want to make a kingdom of peace and love on the planet, and we want to know who's in. And so it's a head count. And that's why it's really important that you let us know you're in. And if we all lock arms together, we can make it.
All right. And so that's a beautiful thing. So the website is called itribe.us. Its tagline is reuniting the lost tribes of Israel. If you go to that website, you'll be able to join if you're interested in joining the site. I mean, I think it's a great undertaking. It's a beautiful thing, to care to say, you know what, I found this out, and I think we should help. We shouldn't just sit here with our riches and just like hoard it. We should actually
Yeah.
look into helping other people and being.
I can't chill looking at what's going on in the Bronx, and in these neighborhoods and in the ghettos, and these people were brought from the slave trade, and it's terrible what to see. Our compassion, the Jewish people are filled with compassion, is so big. We want to make sure everyone's safe.
And have you guys
yeah.
been working with the Israelites in Demona on some of these things that you're doing?
Oh well, I'm in touch with them about potentially how to like scale the Demona model to the world, but there's a lot of work to reconcile between these communities because not everyone knows this 2-hour shift that we just experienced. But soon they will. It will be common knowledge. But we're early in on the game right now.
Absolutely.
You know, we're like MySpace before
We
Facebook.
master,
We're like,
we mastermind in it. Absolutely. Kabbalah
yeah,
means to receive. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it was definitely an honor and a privilege. Rabbi Harry Rozenberg, as usual, we will be coming in the next few weeks with
let's go.
part two. But I want everybody to watch out. We will be having Rabbi Harry Rozenberg on Scoreboard Keepers next week. Y'all know Scoreboard Keepers is a powerful platform. So we will be having him on there. And we are slowly get them questions from either you on there. I know, so we got to be very careful, but it was an honor. Thank you, Robbie. And when I get off here, I'll call you directly.
All right, guys. Shalom. Blessings to everyone. Everyone should have a good life, wealth, health, and happiness.
And I
Amen.
hope you feel better.
Hallelujah.
Get some peppermint oil. When you're
Oh,
outside with mosquitoes, you get some peppermint oil and rub it, and the mosquitoes will stay away from you.
yeah. I appreciate
Or
that advice.
burn some camphor. They don't like that smell.
I happen to have been under the weather for this whole thing, but I felt it was so important to do it nonetheless. And And yeah, I appreciate that tip of advice. That's
Like
why we're Aleikum Shalom. We're here for each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hallelujah. Hebrew
God bless
Israelites out
all
of
your holy
Nashville, Israel.
souls staying strong. And we see you. I see
Hallelujah.
the struggle. I see what's going on. So I love you guys. We got this.
Absolutely. Shalom, DJ Genesis.
Peace.
Just when I thought I couldn't find my way out, yeah, I searched the God in me to find my way out. I know it can seem way out, but the Creator flows to and through me from way out. I'm talking way out, yeah, yeah, yeah. See if you believe in the God in you.